Welcome everyone to my new stage and my podcast, BEingness, where I'll be sharing with you stories of human encounters, soul-family reunions, life's touch, the story of our collective journey, walking each other back home. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of BEingness. Today I have with me a dear soul sister, Lindsey. What can I tell you about her? I feel that the spreader of happy and joy define perfectly the wholeness of her being, who she is, how she presents herself in the world, and why she is here, walking the world among all of us. Welcome, Amanda.
Well, thank you so much, Mariya. I am so happy to be here, and that introduction was just so beautiful. It touched my heart. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear. I'm so excited, so grateful to have you here to share a little bit more of your human journey, of your mission here, of how we met, how we've been co-creating, and all the beautiful stuff that are here for all of us.
I'm excited to be here too. Absolutely.
How is your day going so far?
Oh, I'm having a beautiful day. It's kind of just getting started. So this is the perfect way to start with a conversation with the dear.
You're all the way on the other side of US.
And I tend to sleep a little late too, so
That is nice. Sleep is an underrated thing for humans. It should be more appreciated and used for rejuvenation.
Absolutely. It's one of the best things I feel for self-care. Definitely. And it actually, it can aid in bringing happiness to your life. Because, if you're cranky because you're not getting enough sleep, that having that sleep is a good thing, adds, to your wholeness. And anyway,
Tell me more about your mission, your purpose, your growth.
all right. Well, I am creator of the International Happiness Movement. It's called Project S.h.a.p.e, and that stands for Spreading Happiness Across Planet Earth. And happiness is basically my expression of love. And the idea of the group, of the mission, of my passion and purpose really started, it goes back to many years of chronic health issues, and it also ties in the pandemic. So really two low, kind of rough times for me personally and for the world. And pretty much with the years of the health issues that I was dealing with, I was feeling, and of course this was before Zoom and before, people were able to connect a lot virtually.
Mhm.
So at the time, it was almost like, if you weren't seeing people, then you were not seeing anybody. You were by yourself if you weren't in person. And with my conditions, I could not socialize outside of my home. And so um, I got isolated. I had a lot of physical restrictions. I had a lot of fear of the unknown. Um, my life, my life just it kind of upturned on, from what I knew to what was going on. It just kind of like completely flip-flopped, and it was just very difficult to manage these feelings. And you know so I was doing the best that I could. And then it hit me when the pandemic started. Millions and millions of people were having these same issues, these same feelings. And granted, it wasn't, for the same reason, but, people were isolated, people were confined to their homes, people weren't able to socialize. Um, Lots of people were afraid of the unknown. Nobody, and, you know, millions and billions of people were having their lives just upturned. And, and I felt like, oddly, I felt connected to people in the world and to everybody in it. And it was a bittersweet kind of thing, because I'm like, okay, now I'm connected and people understand what I've been going through. But then I'm like, I don't want that connection. I want my connection with people to be one of positivity. I want it to be of, unity, of joy and happiness. And so I decided to do that. And that's where Project Shape came about, because, you know, one of the big two of the big things were hugs and smiles. We weren't able to hug for a long time. And a lot of times the masks were covering up our smiles. And so I was like, those two things would be really, really are what we need, in this world. And so my purpose was to just spread the hugs and smiles to everybody. And so I created a Facebook group, and that was kind of the first start of things. And it's amazing because as of right now, we've got 875 people, and from 57 different countries. That's just beautiful to me, because I'm like, that's a real connection from all over. And so that's kind of where the happy came from, or the reason for it. It just it was a deep feeling that it was just needed. And I still think it's needed. And I think as more people are coming together in the group and just in general, they're realizing how needed happiness is.
That is a beautiful cause. And a beautiful example of choosing how to react when the world around you falls apart.
Absolutely.
Because we forget that we have a choice in every given moment. We cannot control the situations. We cannot control the outside world. We cannot control the other selves. But we can absolutely choose how we want to see, what we want to see. Do we want to see a bad, a good, And that's where our power is. I think I've been trying to pinpoint exactly when we got into each other's world. And it almost feels as we've always been around each other.
You know, I feel the same way because when you had, asked me to come on and I was thinking about it. I was like, I was trying to go back too and find out. I'm like, when did we start talking and connecting? Because I can't pinpoint it. I mean, there are, pivotal moments that, have meant a lot and have, you know, directed a lot of really cool things
Yeah.
um for both of us, but I can't I can't pinpoint actually when.
So here I have it for you, and it's so interesting because we connected about a year ago when I committed to write my first book, or to be a co-author in the first book, Soul Love,
Okay.
where like my first chapter, Witness, which basically is that this podcast is the extension of this chapter. And we met on a collaboration call within the Divine Destiny Publishing with Mary. And on this same call, you know how everybody is bringing what I'm here to create. That was when I got the idea, I'm here to create a podcast.
Wow.
And that's when I said, oh, you know what? I'm here to create a podcast. Does anybody know a podcaster, or how do I do it? And this is how, when Mary suggested to connect with payment, and the whole situation, and we found each other a year later doing the class with payment, and now doing the podcast.
And
So
then
it's actually so beautiful, full of synchronicity, coming full circle and having you as a guest on the podcast.
oh, that
And
awesome.
and you're right, because you mentioned in between there were so many pivotal moments, and I would love us to share a little more about how we connected more deeply, and in my awareness, other than collaborating and supporting each other through the publishing, you were the winner of the prize of when when we published the first book. I gave away 3 prizes, I think, 3 sessions, and you were one of the winners, and that's how we connected more closely. That's how you were introduced to my light language, to my world, to my work, literally from the inside.
Yes.
And I remember you had some powerful revelation during that session. So here we are,
Absolutely. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would love you to share in your words more about this and all the findings and awareness that you gain sense and that you've shared with me.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to. First of all, I want to say, um, reading your chapter, Witness, really, really spoke to me. And so, having read it before our session was very helpful. Um, it, man, it connected me before we even actually, spoke face to face. It connected me to you. I knew I could feel just your story, um, with your voice and with, your physical journey. And again, when someone is going through and has a journey similar, that I think connects people or connects souls and connects, you know, even without, the visual face to face. I think that's a big factor. And so that was kind of a prequel to, when we did have our session. And um that that session was super amazing. First of all, your light language is so beautiful, and I am so drawn to that. You do the light languages. I know you're doing it now. I know you do it when you just post various times when you're in nature, and oh man, that totally speaks to my heart, and just oh, pure joy and pure happiness comes when I see those reels and those posts. But it was very interesting during our session, because I could feel tingles, I could feel just a movement, and it was very, very powerful. And when we were talking, the majority of the session, well, really did it. I had no idea where it was going to go to start with. I just was kind of like, oh, this is going to be a great way to connect, with Mariya face to face, to see what she does and all that kind of stuff. And it really it ended up going into the direction of, my health and things that I had been questioning and just pondering. And when you had done some of the light language in my heart area, um, just the weight that was lifted after was just phenomenal, and I didn't know what exactly it meant, but I knew something powerful was gonna happen because of that, and um and it really has, because the dots always connect, and I can see that we had this session before I was supposed to go on a retreat. It was going to be my first retreat, and I was super excited, and I was like, oh, this is great. um I had gotten COVID and was not able to go on this retreat. And, I was kind of bummed, but then I was like, again, there's always a reason. And, I was sitting here trying to figure it out and think about it. And that's one of the things, we had talked about, because I told you, I was like, I really wanted to go on this retreat and didn't get to. And I was, kind of trying to, I guess, want to, rationalize why. And we had spoken about it, and you're like, just it's the ego trying to figure that out, and there's no reason really to figure it out. It just is. And what's really awesome is that I have since gone on my retreat, I went in mid-March, and I absolutely know now why that first retreat I didn't go on. It wasn't meant for me, you know what I'm saying? And what's very interesting in that respect is that in this recent retreat, one of the fabulous females that I had met was a healer, and she does Reiki. She's a massage therapist. She's got a lot of, you know, healing modalities, and which you know, we had met and we were talking and hanging out, everybody, you know, together. And like the second day at the retreat, she came up to me and she was like, you know, can I work on your foot? And I just kind of looked at her and I was like, sure, you know, I have no problem. And she says, you know, for some reason, I'm just really called to work on your right foot. And I said, okay. And this is very interesting because part of my physical issues, I had a really severe nervous system disorder. And what was happening was my nerves were so tightly wound up that like my joints were hardening and curling on, you know, to a point where I had no voluntary motion. I couldn't move myself. Um, and in this state, I was bedridden for about a year. And you know, there were days where pretty much, well, when I woke up, all I could do was open my eyes. That was my mobility at that point. Well, during this time, um, my right foot suffered a lot of damage. I had some bone loss and some deformity, and my whole body was involved in the situation, but my right foot seemed to have had the most trauma, I guess you would say. And so when she said, you know, I'm called to work on your right foot, I said, okay, let's do this, you know? Because at this point, I have been building up my body strength to where I could, I kind of went through, I kind of would go through phases, you know, like, and it could vary day to day. My worst, my mobility, I was with the wheelchair. And this is way after the, that year that I was bedridden. I'm talking about like, present day before March, the present day before the retreat. That's kind of where we're at. My days could go from where I needed the wheelchair, or I could use a rolling walker, or I could kind of shuffle around the house independently. It just kind of depended on my strength. It depended on, you know, how the day was. And so that's just to kind of give you an idea of where I was before the retreat. And I was super excited because I'm, you know, never been on a retreat before and never been around you know, the healers and stuff in person. I've had a lot of, you know, virtual contact, but this was a very interesting thing to have someone just come up and say, hey. So she worked on my foot, and it was amazing. I was like, I could feel like shifts in my foot. I heard, you know, I heard little snap, crackle, pops kind of things. And, you know, so I could definitely tell there was stuck, whatever energy, things stuck was being moved around. So the next day we went on our hike, and I could put my foot down completely flat. I could lift up my foot. I could walk independently, you know, with actually, you know, weight shifting and weight bearing. And I hadn't been able to do that like on my own in years. because, like I said, with how I was, going in different phases, I could shuffle about, but I couldn't lift my foot for some reason. And that's a big factor in walking. And I come to realize that you know, your big toe has a lot to do with your balance, has a lot to do with being able to walk and lift your feet. And she she maneuvered something in that big toe. And since then it's been amazing. It's a catalyst to more things that I have, been able to do because of that little tweak. I'm now able to listen to my body more, to do more, and to know that it's in me. And that was the thing too, is, she told me, it's not me healing your foot. you know it's not me healing you, it's me helping you to heal yourself. And that struck with me and has stuck with me, you know
Which brings me to the next question. Now that you have your expanded awareness and the witness of time, going back to our session and what we do and what we talk about, why you needed the time in between, or what was your body preparing for?
um preparing for newness, you know um it was preparing me to be ready to move forward with my own progression. And you know with my perspective on life too, because it's not just, it's very interesting. Like, i was I was like, my whole thought process about how I was going to look at the retreat, because when you don't have any, I'm like, I have no idea what to expect. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to just accept the experience and embrace everything that is about it. And with that openness that I had, I feel that drew that healer to me, that drew that whole experience to me. And um I'm just kind of from that perspective looking at everything that way. I'm just embracing every day, every moment with that, you know, what can happen next. And not like, oh, what's next, but what can happen next, you know?
You finally allowed yourself to believe
Yeah.
that everything is possible.
And it really is. And um the miracles, because this is truly, oh my God, this is truly a miracle. We're talking, 27 years that I've been dealing with the physical things, and I am I am feeling the best that I ever have, you know? And it's a beautiful thing, and it is a miracle. And I I just, they're out there. The miracles are out there, and we just need to allow ourselves to see them. And so, and, obviously in my case, it does take time. I wasn't ready for whatever reason, but as the time, stretched, and it I opened up to it, and I am ready. And I think that's just important when you can be open to the possibilities, and they really are endless and limitless.
Yeah. So you just said allow myself to see it. And I think what really is important to share with the collective and the shift that I witnessed with you, it wasn't allowing yourself to see it. It was allowing yourself to believe it.
Yeah.
Because we are programmed to think, oh, I'll believe it when I see it.
Right.
When in all reality, it's the other way around.
You're
The
absolutely right.
energy is you when you believe it, you will see it. And that has been such a powerful lesson for myself. And I believe that's why you so strongly connected with my personal story. And because this is what I was dealing with, I was told that I am having uncurable autoimmune disease that was affecting my cranial muscles. I could not move my face, I could not smile, I could not speak. There was a lot going on. And I believed it. I believe that my life will be like this, going to treatments, constant medications. Until a year ago, through my healing process and connecting with my higher essence, my higher self, the message was, you don't need this anymore. Your body can heal on its own. Your body has infinite intelligence that knows how to heal from within.
Yeah.
And this was the story I've shared in the book. That since then, I've healed that uncurable disease. And this was the main, not focus. Focus is not the right word. But I believe that's why we were guided to each other and we were connected. Because through my work, it came to my awareness that a lot of my issues were not really health related, but it was a lot of to do with who I was as a soul, as a presence, as a being, and my nervous system adjusting to the much higher frequency that I was bringing down into earth. Because for a human body, it's very hard to adjust to such a high frequency. And this was the focus, or that's why we had the session together. And what we did with the heart was just reminding you of who you were as a soul. And in the session, I told you, your body can heal. And at the time, like me before, you were, no, I need this medication. I've been doing this. I've been doing for so long. It's helping me.
Yeah. And it
And what evolved since what I've witnessed, and especially from what you've shared afterwards with your treatment, how that changed. It was really the changing, believing it, and you see it, that brought you where you are now, the
yeah,
same way it brought me.
you're absolutely right. And um you know, the title of your chapter and this podcast and the whole thing is so right. So, you know, the perfect, the essence of witnessing is just because, you know, I am witnessing the changes. I'm witnessing my past. You know, I'm witnessing, you know, witnessing you and your past. And it was, you know, just, I think it's a very powerful word, and it's a very connecting word. And I do think that you know, we were brought together in that form to share and to witness one another. You know, I think that was one of our main purposes, for sure. Because it just, you know, I just have seen, since you've written your chapter, I have seen your growth and, you know, your expansion, and it's just beautiful. And I love it. And I love when you share all the beautiful things that you're doing. And um um, again, this podcast, you know, I'm super excited that this has come to fruition, because I know it's one of your dreams, and definitely is helping people. Because, you know, just as we've witnessed one another, you know, the people that are seeing and witnessing this, it will hit them somehow. And, you know, that just like in my session, you know, I may not have known what it was that was going to happen, but I knew something was happening, something positive was happening. And I truly believe when people see this podcast or listen to this podcast, it's going to be the same thing. Something's going to hit, and they may not know what, but something's going to hit. And then who knows, later on, it'll be like, man, that I remember now that, you know. So I definitely, I love what you're doing. I love what we're doing. I think it's beautiful. And yeah,
And it's very important to share. It's very important to share those stories, and that's why I do what I do. I share my journey, I share my stories because they show people what else is possible.
Absolutely.
I'm not here to convince anybody anything, but we are the life leaders. We are the embodiment of what else is possible
Absolutely.
through us, through our stories, through sharing our stories. Because I could have shy away a year ago and not live into writing a book.
Yeah.
Because it was scary. I never wrote a book. I might have shy away of trusting and believing that I can cure my body. I can be free of all treatments. Over the past year, I had my pores removed. I stopped any and all treatments. I'm free now. I can travel anywhere around the world. I'm not bound here like before, needing to be in a hospital every week. And me sharing that with you planted the seed
Yeah.
of what else is possible.
Absolutely.
Yes, we remove a lot of the heavy trauma and collective karma stones that you are, like we said, we're all bringing here for the collective that are not ours even.
Right.
We volunteer to carry it for the collective because we are the powerful souls that we are. But now we believe that yes, we can heal. Well, yes, we're not just here to work and to suffer.
Right.
We're here to play. We're here to be. We're here for joy. We're here for happy.
Absolutely.
And I'm
And
so very happy and joyful to be able to witness you through your own healing, through your own allowing, sorry, and believing that you're not just here to suffer through this body, but you're here to feel joy, to enjoy the world around you.
and this opening up to believing and then seeing has also fueled my passion for spreading happiness even more. You know, it's almost like that, I was here with the happy and now it's just like elevated. And so even that allowing just has brought more joy into my life and more happiness into my heart. And makes me want to just spread it even more, you know? The all things are possible.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of being a light leader and spreading the awareness, sharing your story. So the ripple goes on continuously without you even needing to do more. It's just the overflow of your beingness that
That's
is touching more and more people around you.
oh, that's how I feel. God, and on my retreat, okay, one of the things during meditation, I had felt exploding with happiness, and I saw and felt like there was a volcano, right? And this volcano was just like spewing forth smiley faces of all different colors, right? And so I was like I gotta draw this. And so I had gone to the table and was just hanging out and drawing my picture. And I should have brought it because I wanted to show you. I totally forgot. But this picture it's really fun, and it really it encapsulates just my feeling and my very being. It's just this happiness volcano, and it was really fun. And so a lot of awareness, a lot of witnessing has happened. And it's taken me a couple months to kind of process and integrate some things, and to actually talk about my my issues. And I have said, I have always said, hey, I've suffered or I was a sufferer of chronic illness for 27 years, but I can look at that now, and like even when I write about it, because I'm writing an article describing, my recent physical expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And when I write about it, I I share the past because it's relevant because of where I am now. And but when I talk about it as I talk about it as the body or the knees or the nerves, not my body, not my nerves, because that's not me anymore, the me now is not feeling those things, is not experiencing those things. And so when I do look back, it's definitely looking back at an objective, like third person kind of deal. But it's not that the story is not important, because the story is important, but the story is the story. It's not my story anymore. And that's one of the things that have given me a lot of freedom. Just like, your ports coming out, me deciding that, yeah, that's a story, but it's not my story anymore. And that helps a lot too. That frees you. You know what I'm saying?
It does. And this is the power we have in every given moment. We can change the stories.
Absolutely.
Just as you said it, this is not me anymore. Yes, the story is there, yes, the experience is there, but I'm not in the story anymore.
Right.
It's a story. I'm not living in the story. I'm not, what's the proper word for this? I'm not embodying the story anymore.
Right.
I'm embodying a new self. I'm embodying a self that feels freedom. It doesn't feel contracted anymore. It doesn't live in the victimizer, suffering paradigm anymore.
Absolutely.
Yes, I still might have um, problems with my eyes here and there, or you might still feel pain here and there, but the chains are no longer there.
That's absolutely right. It's what it feels like. The cage is open, you know?
The cage is open. I had to wear a bracelet because of the ports,
Mm,
because in an emergency, like they needed to be aware that I have the ports inside of me. And it was like a little chain with a medical, yeah.
I got one.
So what came a year ago when I heard you don't need this anymore, it was literally I saw releasing myself from any chains. And it was my watch, it was my protection crystals, it was that bracelet. And I removed them all. And it was the fear that I removed.
I got you.
The fear that I don't have time. The fear that I need something outside of me to protect me. The fear of being sick. And once the fear was removed, once I unclipped the chain, literally, it felt like the chain dropped, the heaviness dropped.
I can completely relate.
The heart was free. The heart expanded. The heart remembered that we are not here to suffer. That we came here to play,
Yes.
to build castles the way we wanted, without restriction, without fear that we will be bullied, that we will be stopped, that our body will stop us. Because in all reality, the only one that can stop us is ourselves.
That's a powerful thing. That statement right there.
Not believing,
Yeah.
waiting to see it, waiting for someone else to come and save us. Believe it, and you see it. And we are both the real life proof and embodiment that anything is possible when you believe it.
Mm. That's some good stuff.
Anything else you want to share, you want to witness, you want to spread awareness of?
Oh, just just also, I guess not to beat yourself up if and when you are starting to open up and starting to believe, because it's a process. And I know, like, I've got a lot to go, and I'm only getting started. But I definitely, there are certain, steps that I am going to need to take, that I'm in the process of taking, to still to embrace that belief. And sometimes you may go backwards and you may fall back into that fear. And if that happens, just don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some grace and space, and just realize, that you're working through it, and it is getting better, and it's only going to get better.
Beautiful share and powerful words. And it feels like you might be ready to go back to your portal drawing and look at it with fresh eyes.
I believe you're right.
Because I think there might be things hidden before that now that you believe, you will see.
That's a great suggestion, and I will take that for sure, because it is that drawing that you did is very powerful, and it will be different now because I'm different. So I'm looking forward to that. And as I said, what's next?
I'm looking forward to see all the expansion because I know and I saw at the time and I know now that this is just the beginning for you, and I'm grateful and honored that I was allowed to witness you and to be the catalyst for your expansion. It's really a great honor to walk with you on earth on this journey. And I want to finish with something special. Because funny enough, in divine timing, I finally received my Christmas gift because becoming the expanded me and dealing with everything when I was dealing in January, I forgot that humans have mailboxes. And all of my mail got returned, which it's been so interesting to get my mailbox back. But, so this is what we have. And this is one. This is one. Abundant house in spreads. And this is part of what you do. You are sending. Just tell us a little more of the cards and what actually the project is. And of course, the beautiful smiley face.
I'm so happy you got it. Yay.
I'm happy too. It was about time.
Got a little happy tears going. Thank you. That was so sweet.
How can people spread more joy through your program?
Well, you can, if you go on Facebook, Project S.h.a.p.e, and it's S.h.a.p.e with little dots, and spreading happiness across planet Earth. That's one way. Another way is by reaching me, or going to my website, which is Spreader of the Happy. So it's www.spreaderofthehappy.com. And if you go there, you will find all the different ways that I am working to bring happiness into the world. And it talks about my group. It talks about these cards that I send out. They're called S.h.a.p.e cards, and they're little handmade, kind of like business cards. It's got the Project S.h.a.p.e logo on it, and I write
Just for
handwritten
us
messages.
not aware what shape stands for.
Oh, spreading happiness across planet Earth. So they're just little cards and with happy messages, and just to pass out whenever you're around people, in the elevator or at the grocery store, just to brighten people's day. And then I too will be starting in the future. I'm going to be doing a podcast, and it's going to be called Happy Chats with Amanda. And it's going to be basically talking to everyone and anyone about what their vision of happiness is, and how we can bring more happy, how they feel that we can bring more happy into the world. So I've got a lot of things just kind of in the works, but definitely come check out my website, and come spread the happy.
And I'll make sure that all the links are included in the description, so anybody can follow and reach out to you and participate in the spreading of happy, because we surely need more happy into planet Earth, and to allow ourselves first and foremost
Absolutely.
to be happy, to feel happy,
That's
so
where
we
it
can
starts.
spread more happy and be the ripple into the world. Any final words, final message? You
Just
feel complete?
pretty much just remember that it is all inside of you. It's all inside of us. The happiness, the healing, everything. It's all inside of us. And as you said, believe it and we'll see it.
Believe it and you see it. The one thing that will bring you back home to yourself. Thank you everyone for listening. If any part of this story touched you, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode of BEingness. Thank you.